Hello all, I am the Holland Phantom, and we've made it once again to Ghost Pokemon October. So for today's video, we're going to be having a live battle from the 2012 format. On one side, we've got the Electric Mewtwo deck, as used by Chase Moloney, the Senior Division World Champion of 2012, going up against the ChandyGor deck, as used by Clifton, a top 16 Worlds competitor in the Masters Division. So we'll see which of these two decks can take the victory today. But before we begin, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel and to my Twitter account at Holland_Phantom so you don't miss out on any new Pokemon TCG content. And now with that out of the way, let's get into the battle! And here we go, the battle has started, with both players slipping over their starting Pokemon. On the Electric side, we've got Smeargle as the active Pokemon, and on the Chandelure side, we've got Mew as the active Pokemon with the Darkrai on the bench. The Chandelure side is going first, activating Pokemon Communication to swap out Chandelure from the hand for Pikachu from the deck. Now Pikachu comes down onto the bench, and we might be seeing its attack, as players are allowed to attack on the first turn of the game in this format. There we see a Rainbow Energy coming down to the active Mew, takes 10 damage from the energy card. And yes, there we go, Pikachu comes into the active spot, and it attacks for free using Playground, letting both players search their deck for up to 5 basic Pokemon to put onto their bench. Okay, let's see what the players are going to be adding. On the Electric side, let's see, we've got a Mewtwo EX, Raikou EX, Tynamo, another Tynamo, and what else? Third Tynamo, okay. And on the Chandelure side, we've got Litwick and 2 Oddish coming down, so both players now have a full bench. At the end of the turn, Pikachu does fall asleep for using its attack. And here's a coin flip. Okay, it's going to be heads, so Pikachu wakes up right away. Now over to the other side's first turn. Let's see what they can do. Starting off with Smeargle's ability, Portrait, looking at the opponent's hand to copy one of the effects of their supporters, but the player did not have any. Okay, now they activate their Stadium card, Sky Arrow Bridge, reducing the retreat cost of all basic Pokemon by 1. And now that we see the supporter for the turn, Professor Juniper, discarding the hand to draw 7 brand new cards. And now they activate the item card Level Ball to search the deck for any Pokemon with 90 HP or fewer. And there's the main energy accelerating Pokemon of the deck, Eelektrik. The player does have to wait one more turn before they can start evolving their Pokemon. Okay, looks like Tynamo's going to be one of the first attackers. Gets Lightning Energy, jumps into the active spot now. And there's a Pokemon Catcher. This is in the era before Pokemon Catcher needed a coin flip, so it works immediately, bringing up one of the benched Oddish. There's the attack, Spark. Hitting both the active Oddish and the benched one for 10 damage apiece. The player's going to be trying to knock them out before they evolve into Vileplume. Okay, now Litwick evolves into Lampent on the Chandelure side. And Mew is going to be going into the active spot, as Oddish does retreat for free thanks to the ability of the Sky Arrow Bridge. No more cards to play. There's the attack. See off. And now the player can search their deck for any Pokemon to send to the Lost Zone, and the player chooses Accelgor. It's going to be the main attacker of the deck, as Mew can copy the attack of Accelgor using its Lost Link ability. On the Electric side, one of the Tynamo on the bench evolves into the first Electric. Lightning Energy comes down to the Raikou. There we see a second Pokemon Catcher, once again bringing the Oddish into the active spot. And Tynamo hits both Oddish once again with Spark. They've both taken 20 damage apiece. Okay, once again, Oddish is going to be retreating to promote Mew. No, not Mew. Pikachu. Pikachu comes back into the active spot. It can't attack because both players have a full bench. Okay, there we go. Rare Candy to evolve one of the Oddish straight into Vileplume to activate the ability Allergy Flower, so neither player can activate item cards anymore. And now the Stadium card is replaced. It's going to be Tropical Beach. The player activates it to draw until they have 7 cards in their hand, but it also automatically ends their turn. Okay, they're just setting up their side of the field. Now back over to the Electric side. Tynamo is going to be discarding its energy card to pay the retreat cost to promote Smeargle once again. Electric activates its ability Dynamotor to get back the discarded Lightning Energy to equip onto the Raikou. And now Smeargle activates its ability Portrait. Okay, now the player has some supporter cards. And they're going to be choosing their opponent's Professor Juniper, discarding their hand to draw 7 new cards. Trying to dig through their deck for some more Electric to evolve their Tynamo. Okay, there's the manual attachment. A third energy coming down to the Raikou. Okay, there's going to be no attack. They end their turn with a Tropical Beach. Back over to the Chandelure side. Mew gets Prism Energy, so it's fully powered up to use Accelgor's Deck and Cover attack. It goes into the active spot. There's the attack. Deck and Cover, hitting Smeargle for 50 damage and also inflicting both poison and paralysis at the cost of Mew having to shuffle itself back into the deck. Okay, there we go, and looks like Pichu's going to be coming back into the active spot. Between turns, Smeargle takes 10 damage for the poison. It's down to just 10 HP remaining, so as soon as the player ends their turn, the poison will KO it. Lightning Energy came down to the Mewtwo, and that's going to be it. Turn passes, Smeargle is knocked out by the poison, which means that Chandelure takes the first prize card of the game. And now Tynamo comes into the active spot. Okay, on the Chandelure side, the player activates Sage's Training as their supporter card. They look at the top 5 cards of their deck. They can choose to keep 2 of them in their hand and discard the other 3. There's the 2 chosen cards, and they're going to be discarding. It looks like it was a Lampent, Relicanth, and a Chandelure all going to the discard pile. They keep 2 of the cards. They need another Mew and double colorless energy to keep the attacks going. Oh, but they didn't have anything. The Lampent evolves into Chandelure, but they did not attack. On the electric side, the player activates their supporter card N, forcing both players to shuffle away their hands and draw 1 card for each of their remaining prize cards. Electric is going to be drawing 6, and Chandelure draws 5. Let's see what the player can do with this free turn. They didn't take any damage from their opponent. Tynamo's going to be getting a Lightning Energy, and then it's going to be discarded to pay the retreat cost to promote Raikou. Raikou does have the attack Volt Bolt, able to deal 100 damage to any Pokemon on the opponent's side. There's the Dynamotor from the Electric, getting a Lightning Energy onto the Mewtwo. There's the attack Volt Bolt, targeting the opposing Vileplume, hitting it for 100 damage, taking the KO and taking their first prize. So it looks like that damage from the Tynamo earlier on in the game actually really came in handy. It got it within range of this Raikou's attack. So the player has broken the item lock. On the Chandelure side, there we see Sage's Training once again. Looking at the top 5 cards, keeping 2 and discarding 3. They're going to be discarding as a Rainbow Energy, a Litwick, and Professor Juniper. They still need a Mew and a double colorless energy to attack. There we see another Oddish coming down. There's the Mew. Do they have the energy card? And yes, double colorless energy. So Mew jumps into the active spot. It attacks with Deck and Cover, shuffling itself away and inflicting paralysis and poison onto Raikou, and dealing 50 damage. Although the player does have access to their item cards now, so they can possibly switch this Raikou out. Now Pichu comes back up. Let's see what they can do. Okay, they did have the switch to send Raikou to the bench. It's going to be healed of its poison and paralysis. Mewtwo comes into the active spot now. It should be able to take the KO against this Pichu. Oh, but first there's a Max Potion to completely heal the Raikou on the bench. And there's Dynamotor. They still have not gotten any more Electric to evolve their Tynamo. There's the Lightning Energy coming onto the Raikou EX. If the player has a Pokemon Catcher, they can use it to take the KO against one of these Oddish to prevent Vileplume. Okay, they're going to be using Professor Oak's new theory to shuffle away their hand to draw 6 new cards. They're digging through their deck for some more evolutions, and possibly the Pokemon Catcher. Let's see what they can do. There's the Dual Ball. The player's going to be flipping 2 coins. Oh, but they're both tails. Nothing happens. Otherwise, they could have gotten a basic Pokemon for each heads. And no more cards are played. There's the X-Ball attack, taking the KO against Pichu. Now Electric has taken their second prize. So they've taken the lead. Now Chandelure comes into the active spot. Chandelure's going to be getting a Rainbow Energy. It takes 10 damage. But it does have a free retreat cost now, thanks to the ability of the Darkrai on the bench. There's Chandelure's ability, Curse Shadow, putting 3 damage counters on one of the opposing Tynamo. And now the player puts the Smeargle on the bench. Smeargle goes into the active spot. And there's the ability, Portrait, looking at their opponent's hand. And they can choose between Professor Juniper and N. The player chooses the N. They're both going to be shuffling their hands away. The Electric player is going to be drawing 4 cards, and the Chandelure player gets to draw 5. Once again, they're going to be digging for a Mew, and an energy card. And also a way to evolve this Oddish back into a Vileplume. Okay, they might get it with this Twins card. They can search the deck for any 2 cards, but only if they're behind in prizes. So this might be the Vileplume and Rare Candy. Let's see what they get. And yes, that was exactly the play. Rare Candy to evolve the new Oddish into a second Vileplume, once again establishing the item lock, and the player's going to be ending their turn with the Tropical Beach to draw some more cards out of the deck. Okay, pretty good turn. Back over to the other side now. And, okay, one of the Tynamo, the one with the damage, evolves into a second Eelektrik. The manual attachment is going to be a second Lightning Energy onto the Raikou. And now Mewtwo is going to be retreating, discarding both of its energy cards to promote Raikou once again. Raikou can hit anything on the opposing side for 100 damage with Volt Bolt, but unfortunately it cannot take the KO against his Vileplume. Both of the Dynamotors get 2 Lightning Energy back onto the Mewtwo. And there's Professor Juniper discarding the entire hand to draw 7 new cards. Let's see if they can get another Eelektrik into play. Okay, no more cards coming down. There's the attack Volt Bolt, targeting down the Smeargle, taking the 3rd prize now. So there are 2 prizes in the lead. Chandelure comes back into the active spot. Once again activates the ability Curse Shadow, placing 3 damage counters on the Eelektrik. It's down to just 30 HP, so 1 more Curse Shadow will knock it out on the following turn. And there we see Mew coming down. It gets the double colorless energy, and it's going to be jumping into the active spot to attack. But first, there we see another Twins card, once again searching the deck for any 2 cards to add to the hand. It's a really good combo to just use Twins every turn. Choose 1 card that you need, and the second card can be another Twins to just keep the combo going. And there's the attack, Deck and Cover. Hitting for 50 damage again. Poison and Paralysis come down. And this time the player cannot switch out their Raikou because the Vileplume is down on the bench. Okay, now Chandelure comes back into the active spot. Raikou takes 10 damage for the poison, and let's see what the player can do. They can't attack this turn. There's both of the Dynamotors, getting 2 Lightning Energy from the discard pile. Going on to Mewtwo. Mewtwo now has 4 Lightning Energies. It gets stronger for every energy to power up its X-Ball attack. Okay, now Raikou's going to be taking another 10 damage between turns. On the Chandelure side, once again, Mew comes down, gets a double colorless energy. And there's a Cursed Shadow to take the KO against the Eelektrik. And now the player takes their second prize. And they have another Twins card. They get another 2 cards out of the deck, like I said, just to keep the combo going. So they can search for whatever they need, either another Mew or double colorless energy, depending on what they have in their hand. Okay, there we see Mew coming back up. It's going to be dealing some damage again. So Raikou is down to 50 HP remaining after this attack, and that's going to be taking 10 damage between turns from the poison. Chandelure comes back up. It's going to be activating Cursed Shadow on the following turn. It can only be used if it's in the active spot. There we go. The last Tynamo evolves into another Eelektrik. Oh, but actually there we see the 4th Tynamo finally coming down onto the bench. There's both of the Dynamotors getting 2 more energy onto Mewtwo. Now it has 6 Lightning Energy, so X-Ball can hit for 120 damage. The player passes their turn. Raikou takes 10 more damage. It's down to just 30 HP. The Cursed Shadow can take the knockout. There we see Mew once again coming down, getting the Lightning Energy. Sorry, the double colorless energy. There's Cursed Shadow taking the KO against Raikou. The player does take 2 prize cards because it's an EX Pokemon, and now they have taken the lead. They just gotta take the KO against 2 of these Eelektrik or Tynamo, or just a single Mewtwo to win the game. Okay, but the player promotes Tynamo. It is going to be getting KO'd by this Mew, as it only has 40 HP. But that will finally free up the player to attack with their Mewtwo. Okay, so Tynamo is knocked out. Mew gets shuffled back into the deck. And the player's going to be taking their 5th prize card. But now they have to contend against this super powered up Mewtwo. Like I said, it's going to be hitting for 120 damage. The only one that can stand up to this attack is the Darkrai. Okay, but the player's going to be sending up their damaged Oddish. And let's see what else the player can do on the electric side. Okay, some more energy coming down. A double colorless energy. This time it's going to be a total of 8 energy cards. X-Ball's going to be hitting for 160 damage. And the player activates N. Both players shuffle away their hands. Eelektrik gets to draw 3. And Chandelure only draws 1. That is a huge disruption. So now they can't attack with their Mew. There's the X-Ball. Easily taking the KO against Oddish. And now the player's taking their 4th prize card. They might catch up. Okay, there we see Chandelure coming back up. The player has 1 card in hand. They just drew a second one. And it was a Sage's Training. Okay, to look at the top 5 cards of their deck. Choose to keep 2 and discard the other 3. Let's see what they get. Okay, they're going to be discarding a Mew, a Pokemon Communication, and a Shaman. So they must already have a Mew in hand if they discarded one. Okay, there we see a Terrakion. And yeah, they did have another Mew in hand, but do they have the energy? There's Cursed Shadow, putting 3 damage counters on the Mewtwo. Do they have the attack ready? Oh, no they don't. Chandelure retreats to promote Terrakion. And they're going to be ending their turn with Tropical Beach to draw until they have 7 cards in hand. They're going to be trying to dig as far as they can through their deck to get that double colorless energy. Okay, on the other side, Mewtwo gets another double colorless energy. It's up to 10 energy now, hitting for 200 damage. There's the X-Ball, taking the KO against Terrakion. Both players are now down to just 1 prize card. Let's see if the Chandelure player has a double colorless energy. And yes, they do. That's going to be the game. Chandelure can place 3 damage counters on Mewtwo. It's down to 110 damage. Mew can hit it for weakness. It's going to be 100 damage, plus 10 for poison. It's going to be enough for the KO. And there's the final attack. Deck and cover, taking the KO against Mewtwo to take the final prize card. There it is. And there's the handshake. Chandelure is your winner. So what did you guys think of that battle? Let me know down in the comments below. And be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share this video to help this channel grow and reach new viewers. Thanks a lot for watching, and until next time, this is the Holland Phantom logging out.